Okay, cool. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to do a bit of a show and tell, and we'll save the questions to the end just so we can get through it, and anyone who wants to leave can then just leave. But I'm sure we can do questions at the end. But yeah, if you can go on mute for now, just to try and keep the audio as best it can, unless you just need to shout at me that something's broken up or something like that. Yeah, so thanks for joining. Kind of excited to share with you a few different things. So first off, it's, I guess, the fact that we've been closed for a year, or over a year, and from tomorrow we'll actually be able to reopen, which is pretty cool. And that means, yeah, so from tomorrow we're going to reopen. From tomorrow we're going to reactivate everyone's keys, and also membership fees. But hopefully some of you will have missed this noise. Oh yeah, that's good noise, isn't it? Can I hear it again? Okay, anyway, so yeah, so from tomorrow your keys are going to be re-enabled, so you're going to be able to come in, and the membership holiday, payment holiday we've had for the last year, we're gonna start charging membership fees again, but I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be open for what we were calling orange, so that's kind of what we were calling limited access. So basically that means it's open for individual access. You can do what you want individually. We're going to open for see the space and inductions, and also training as well. The main thing is just no group activities. So, you know, masks, you need to wear a mask all the time. I recognize the irony of not wearing a mask at the moment, but yeah, you have to wear masks all the time, keep social distance, and obviously don't enter if you've been exposed to COVID or you have any symptoms or anything like that. We're going to limit the numbers. It's not technically limited. Okay, so everyone's going to be enabled on the door. So everyone's badge from tomorrow will let you in. But we're going to try and limit the number of people in the space to 22 at any one time. I'll tell you a bit about some of the limits as we go around. There's a space activity sort of web page on the Makespace site now, which is crude, but it might give you an indication of about how many people are in, if you're thinking of having to drive or anything like that. But yeah, it's pretty crude. But there's COVID information all on the website now. It's linked off the front page. We'll keep everything up to date there. So yeah, anyway, you can check that out. First, okay, so I was just sat in the classroom. So the classroom is actually open. We've got 4 tables out, so we're limiting that to 4 people. Obviously that's more just coming in. If you're doing your work in the other room, you need to come and do some laptop work briefly. You can stay here, but obviously if there's no need to be here, think about whether you need to be. But that's all here. So the main downside is that no clubs or groups running in there at the moment. But hopefully some of you have seen there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with clubs. So we've got a whole load over lockdown. We had a load of clubs set up. So you got things like the Woodshop Club, the CAD Club, Electronics Club, Robotics Club, Biology Club, Jewelry Club. They've all been running. So they'll carry on. It's just at the moment we're not going to be running them in the physical space, but also there's some other interesting ones coming up, hopefully. So one about hydroponics and food tech. Someone's talking about doing a textiles club, and there's the prop makers club as well. Yeah, all good stuff. Anyway, so let's take a little bit of a walk. Let me see if I can actually spin my camera around. I was just going to go in here. I don't know how many people have the privilege of walking to Jonathan's lair. So this is like the magic behind the curtain. So when all your stuff turns up and is working, there's all the spares and stuff. This is Jonathan's sort of little cave. There's a bunch of video stuff here that is out the back at the moment. If people are interested in using that for any of the clubs or events, just shout, because we're going to get that set up and get training set for that. but people have been asking about using it for making training videos, or even like product pitch videos and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Okay, so where are we going to go now? Let's go to the main space. So the main space looks a bit more normal now. So it's looking good. So there shouldn't be more than 10 people in here at any point. It's looking good, but you'll notice the floor is nice and shiny. So that's been repainted. Everything's been moved and everything's been repainted. Our laser cutters over here. So the 2 laser cutters, they've both had a whole load of maintenance upgrades, and they've got new tubes in them. So that's pretty cool. What else? Oh, our over here, where our printers are, we've got a new A3 color laser with flatbed scanner coming, still in Germany apparently, according to Adrian, but that should be here in the next few days. So these ones that are looking a bit tired, they kind of should get replaced, which would be pretty cool. So you have a nice new printer there. Right, let's go through to people recognize the workshop. Go in here. Some new things have happened in here as well. Don't know if you can spot it yet. Okay, so thanks to the Woodshop Club, who sort of formed over lockdown, they've been thinking about how to upgrade the woodshop. So these are some brand new disc sander and belt sander that's just been installed. So awesome work by people like Tom and Chris to organize all that sort of stuff. And over here, we have a brand new lathe. So Stefan and Alan and Alaric and lots of others have been working on putting together a proposal to buy a new lathe. So that's just come in. Apparently you can't use it yet, but you will be able to. And you'll start to see some other things popping up. So we've got some brand spanking new posters that tell you about the equipment, you know, what to worry about. But importantly, down the bottom, it's got things like links to the training, links to how to report a problem for maintenance. So this is one thing we're gonna try a bit differently this time. Basically, if you see any problems with anything in the space, or anything that you think could lead to a problem, or machine behaving strangely, there's a maintenance email address now. You can see that, maintenance@makespace.org. So basically, we're trying to use that for anything that you think might be amiss in the space. Then the Maintainers Club, which is another club that started, can see that and attend to it. And it's kind of important, not just to if things are broken. You know, we want people to be pretty vocal on this about things, sounding strange or a strange vibration or anything that might be sort of preventative, because we don't want machines breaking themselves. So the sooner we know about things, the better, and also the safer the machines are. Anyway, so yeah, the Maintenance Club. Another thing, I guess there's 3 main clubs that have been set up more recently to help Makespace run. So we've got the Maintenance Club worrying about all the maintenance in the space. We've got the Training Club who've done an amazing job putting most of the training online. So now if you want to train, you start by doing that online, which is, I think, going to work really well. And something, to be honest, we've been meaning to do for a long time, but now it's done because of necessity. But that's been awesome work. So yeah, there's a Training Club who are worrying about that and actually do the training as well. So as you know, they're all members that help you with the training. So that's to help them. And then we've got an Events Club as well to worry about doing events. So things like setting up the clubs, worrying about calendar, things like that. Yeah, so anyways, 3 main contacts then. So training, maintenance, or events at Makespace. Those 3 emails are to get in contact with those groups. And obviously, if you've got any issues, it's still management at Makespace. Anyway, so looking quite good in here. Right, let's take you to the next thing I want to show you. Right, so people might be familiar with this. That was the all the names of all the founders that that started Makespace off by buying membership before even Makespace existed and helping to build it. So there's about 50 people there. If you come over here now, we've got another one for all the amazing sort of COVID response stuff that happened. So there's actually over 100 names on that, would you believe? So that was things like you're doing the visors, doing the masks, the mask clips, test tube holders. So yeah, let's say 100 members or so doing that. But actually, most interestingly, some of our members were part of Addenbrooke's, which really helped make sure we were actually doing something useful. And we got a bit of sponsorship from ARM and TTP and Amazon to help cover the cost. So it didn't cost us anything. Obviously, lots of effort of all the volunteers put in, but no actual cost to Makespace or Makespace members, which is the other thing I wanted to mention. So although we paused membership fees for the year, actually we've been able to secure grants from the council. So actually we've been able to weather the storm pretty well. So I think we're really happy about that. So obviously we're expecting when we open again, we're going to have lost a load of members just because our main reason people leave Makespace is they leave Cambridge. So we'll probably lose a bunch of members because they're no longer in Cambridge, and we haven't been able to induct more members. So our membership numbers are going to be down, I'm pretty sure, by quite a bit to start with. But actually, along with the grants and things we got over the COVID period, I think we're fine. So obviously tell your friends, get them to sign up, come to the inductions, come to see the space. Let's get our membership numbers back up. Hopefully it'll only be people that have left Cambridge that leave. But yeah, we think we've done all right. But yeah, payments will be restarting. We're not going on holiday anymore. Hopefully that's all good. Right, okay, we're in the kitchen now. So I just wanted to show you something else. Right. If I just flip the camera around. Okay, so you may have heard about this. I don't know if you can see this poster, but over the COVID period, we also worked with Biomakespace, and we're really pleased that we managed to merge with the Biomakespace, which I think is going to be really cool. So the Biomakespace is actually up on the Addenbrooke site. And it's a biolab, so you can do all sorts of, fiddling with DNA and all sorts of fun stuff. But we've merged the two organizations now. So actually now, if you're a member of Makespace, or we've merged the memberships as well. So for the same Makespace membership, you now also have access to Biomakespace and vice versa. So that's pretty cool. So some real alignment with how tech in Cambridge is going. So we're going to have biotech, but we're also going to have all the other tech, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we're going to start our inductions and see the space and things like that here. And Biomakespace is going to start them tomorrow again too. So you can, if you want to go and check out what Biomakespace is about, I'd really recommend that. And it's going to be pretty cool that we're now all together. So Biomakespace actually started doing experiments in Makespace, then found some space up in Addenbrooke's, and has been set up for the last 3 or 4 years. So doing an amazing job, very similar to what we're doing. And to merge the memberships, pretty cool. There's some good stuff going on there. Right, that's almost it. There was just one more thing, as I promised. Right, so if we go into the craft room, okay. It's not in the craft room, it's actually out here. Something very exciting. So no one probably knows what's behind this door, and I didn't know actually till about 6 months ago, until I conned my way in and started talking to people in there. But in there is about 2,500 square foot of space that we've tried to negotiate with the university to get hold of, and we think we might have done it. So there's people in there at the moment. but they've been very good and agreed that they'll move to some better location. But hopefully, and I'm kind of confident, that's what I'm telling you, but it's not a done deal yet. Hopefully we will get access to this place and be able to expand our lease, not only to the space we've got, but to this over here. And that's about 2,500 square foot, so it's not a tiny space. And if we do manage to secure that, then the idea is obviously we actually move the Biomakespace over to Mill Lane, and not only that, we expand it so we can actually make quite a bigger Biomakespace, add a load of things like the facilities they've wanted but haven't got space for, but also it should give us space to do a bit more expansion. So the current thinking is we might be able to expand on some of the textiles stuff we're doing, but also expand the woodwork and metalwork facilities. So I mean, this is speculative, but I'm telling you because I'm kind of confident I'll try and make it happen. But yeah, if this is the case, we'll be able to expand the metalwork and woodwork such that we can have a really decent metalwork space. And the Metalwork Club, which also formed over lockdown, has been doing a bit of analysis about what would a dream metalwork shop look like. So we're thinking like fiber lasers that can cut sheet metal, so laser cut sheet metal, CNC mills, things like that. So if we can pull this off, and so the other thing is obviously if the university agrees to give us the lease, we then also have to find the money to pay for making all this happen. So I've been working with potential sponsors to try and sponsor us to do this work, and that's also looking positive. So we're going to try and raise quite a lot of money to do that if possible. But it will kind of mean that at one end of the building you'll be able to cut sheet metal, and at the other end of the building you'll be able to cut DNA, which is pretty cool. So fingers crossed. Not only will Makespace and Biomakespace exist as a membership, they'll actually coexist on a physical space, and we'll be able to upgrade some of the other facilities. So if everyone can keep their fingers crossed on that, we're working very hard on see if we can make that happen. And I hope to be able to tell you in the next month whether we think whether the university have agreed to, and we've been able to sign a lease, and whether the sponsors are willing to, that I'm working with to sponsor actually, doing a whole refit, putting in a biolab, buying a lot of expensive equipment. Anyway, right, so there we go. That's all I've got to show you so far. Hopefully that's all exciting. You're excited to be back. It'd be great to see everyone tomorrow. And that's the end of what we wanted to show you. So if anyone wants to leave now, you're very welcome to leave. But I'm going to go back to my other computer. And if anyone's got questions or wants to chat, please do so. But we'll see you soon, hopefully.